Good evening and welcome. My name is Catherine Yee, Community Engagement Coordinator in the Office of Baltimore County Executive Kathy Klausmeier. It is a pleasure to welcome you to this year's third Budget Town Hall series. We strive to build a better Baltimore County together by focusing on sustainable and equitable opportunities for all, and are proud to continue to hold these events with residents and stakeholders as our community's needs are an essential part of the budget planning process. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge and thank Principal Maureen Astorita and the entire staff of the Parkville High School for their hospitality and for hosting this evening's town hall. I would also like to thank Senator Carl Jackson for being here tonight. Tonight we begin our fiscal year 2027 budget discussion here in District 6, hosted by your County Executive Kathy Klausmeier and your Councilman Mike Ertel. We will start off the evening with a few words from Councilman Ertel. County Executive Klausmeier will then give welcome remarks along with a few words about projects in District 6. Kevin Reed, Director of Baltimore County's Office of Budget and Finance, will follow the County Executive with a brief presentation. After Director Reed's presentation, residents and stakeholders will have an opportunity to share their budget-related priorities within an allotted time of 90 seconds. The County Executive, department heads, and councilmen will listen to your requests, concerns, and ideas. If you share a concern or issue that needs further attention, we will have a coordinator from the Office of Community Engagement or designated department representative follow up with you. Tonight's town hall will conclude at 8 p.m. Those who are unable to provide their testimony in person by that time may submit their request for consideration by emailing townhall@baltimorecountymd.gov. And now it is my honor to welcome Councilman Mike Ertel.
Thank you, Catherine. All right, I'm going to try to work on this mic so I'm not eating it. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Ertel, council person here in the 6th District, which runs from Towson to Rosedale, has a little bit of Middle River in it, and I really love this district because it's predominantly inside the Beltway. It's where I live, it's where I grew up, and it needs a lot of attention, but it's a great district. It's, I say it's, you know, we got a lot of good, we got a lot of bad, or maybe not a lot of bad, but a tiny bit of bad. So anyway, I wanted to introduce a couple people that are here, some other electeds. Council person Izzy Patoka, who looks like, there he is. I know Councilman Jones was here. I don't see him right now, but Councilman Jones was here as well. Senator Carl Jackson, who is our very own senator from the 8th District. My staff is here. Anne Marie Humphreys, my chief of staff. Heather Benassi, and Heather, you want to stand up? And Jorah Kinua is here, so thank you guys for being here, and thank you for always having my back on my staff. So we're gonna get started in a minute. I'm just gonna introduce the county exec. Anyone can speak tonight. This is an opportunity to tell us what you think, good or bad, about county, things you want to see in the budget, things you want to see in the future that the counties may, doing. We started these town halls under Johnny O back when he first came in 2018, and it's really been a great way for county residents to talk about things that concern them. Prior to these town halls, I know the council would have a budget hearing and like 3 people would show up. So it's always great to see a lot of our constituents from the district to be here. We have all the department heads from around the county, and I don't want to steal any more of the thunder from the county exec. So without further ado, we have Madam CE, Kathy Klausmeier, will be taking it from here, and then we'll see you soon. Thanks.
Should I have come in tap dancing? What do you think? Oh. Good evening. It's great to see everybody this evening. And thank you, Council President Mike Ertel, and I appreciate you introducing me. But he is a great guy, he's strong, and he's a dedicated advocate for District 6. I've seen him in action, and I don't know if anyone is here from down in Rosedale when he's out there cleaning up places and throwing trash in the dumpsters when they have dumpster day. And he's just really, really good about that. And I think one time they said we weren't having that anymore, and he got really, really upset. So we're still having it. Thanks to Mike for being upset, and thank you for all that you do cleaning up the place. So, but I'm also joined, we're grateful to the principal, Maureen Astoria, and I'm sorry that she's not here. And she is with her husband tonight celebrating his birthday, I understand. I'm also joined by the County Administrative Officer, DeAndrea Walker. Please stand, DeAndrea. And Kevin Reed, along with the leadership from nearly all our departments. Kevin Reed is our budget guru. Where are you? And he will be going, oh, you're right there in front of me. Okay. He'll be going through the budget with everyone. And we have all of our leadership from the county departments, all our department heads. And I wish they'd stand up, please, and turn around and wave to everybody. And as we go on this evening, if we have any questions, if somebody has a question or anything, they are here to answer them. And if it's a long answer, they'll even go right outside the door there and can talk things over. So I'd like to thank Director Lauren Buckler. Where are you, Lauren? See? And wait, you waved to everybody. This is the woman who got the snow plows out there. Yeah. And they did a wonderful, wonderful job for the, what are we calling it? The snowcrete. It was just so hard. It was just so hard to get rid of. But thank goodness it's warm now. For anyone who has storm-related questions this evening, DPWT has a table in the other room, and Director Buckler will be in attendance so we can address your concerns. So if you have any more questions about the snow and the ice, please don't hesitate to talk and discuss it with her. We are also here with members of our Office of Community Engagement who help make sure we're hearing directly from you and staying connected to your neighborhoods. And they're in the blue shirts. Where are they? They're all over there. So, and you may recognize many of them. And they go to all the community meetings and all the different functions that we have here in the county. So thank you to them. Okay. Now, thank you again to all our employees, and thank you to everyone who took the time to be here tonight to share your budget priorities with us. District 6 is a fun and vibrant place. I've enjoyed learning more about these communities, and it's been very interesting to speak with residents that I had never met before. Although I did represent that area for a while, so there are a lot of people there that I still know. Your concerns are our priorities, and I want to continue to deliver for you, especially by supporting community gems like Holt Park for the arts and the Natural History Society of Maryland, which are both in Overley. We're excited to expand recreation and arts programs across the county, and I look forward to meeting even more members of the community in the future. One opportunity is coming up this spring, and I'd like to invite everyone to join me in marking the United States 250th anniversary. Many exciting events like Sail 250 Maryland will be happening across the county in the months ahead. These events will include fun and very informative programs, as well as opportunities to see the Blue Angels at Martin State Airport, which is always a treat. This anniversary gives us a chance to reflect on where we've been and think about where we are going. Before we move into a brief budget presentation, I want to be clear about the challenges we are facing this year. Once again, decisions at the state and federal levels have made this a difficult budget year. While we don't know what additional challenges may come from the state or the federal government, and won't know final details until the General Assembly passes the state's budget this spring, I do know that choices ahead will not be easy. Baltimore County is facing fiscal pressures to continue providing the services and resources you rely on, but we want to keep delivering real investments throughout Baltimore County. Before we talk about the budget, let's take a look at some of the investments we have made here in District 6. All of these slides will be available on Baltimore County website after tonight's presentation, so you'll be able to see some of the things if you would like to do that. But meanwhile, they're up here now. So the most important investments we make are in our schools and in our children in District 6. We've delivered over $350 million for improvements at 12 schools. That includes more than $13 million for a new roof and other improvements here at Parkville High School. Over $280 million to renovate and expand Towson High School, and much more, as you can see in the slide behind me. To support great institutions like CCBC, were provided more than $26 million to improve buildings and equipment at CCBC Essex. We've also delivered over $2 million for needed improvements at the Rosedale and Towson libraries. We've also continued to invest in keeping our communities safe. Nearly $27 million has gone toward building improvements and much-needed maintenance at fire and police stations, our county courts building, detention center, and public safety facilities in District 6. These investments help us to support the police, firefighters, first responders, detention officers, and 911 operators. We're also thankful for our volunteer fire companies across Baltimore County. Their commitment to our communities is unmatched. Our budget includes nearly $3 million to continue the volunteer medic unit replacement program and increase the volunteer incentives for attendance programs from $35 to $50 an hour for our volunteer firefighters and EMS providers. Everyone should be able to enjoy great parks, and I think we do. Recreation programs and open space. We've delivered over $10 million for parks, recreation centers, ball fields, playgrounds, and other facilities across District 6. That includes nearly $2 million to enhance Hope Park, almost $2 million to improve 8 different playgrounds, and almost $7 million for projects at 13 other sites across the district. As I said, Hope Park and Center for the Arts is a wonderful resource for Baltimore County. Over $5.5 million in investments are underway, and much of that has come from the state. Or on the horizon to restore trails and cabins as well as the fire pit, amphitheater, gravesite of Lillian Holtz, and the parks, who is the park's namesake. It's a great place to visit. Additionally, the dedicated Recreation and Parks team has done a great job expanding programs at this site, from the inaugural Music in the Park and other special events to art and gallery shows and paint nights. There is something for everyone at Hope Park, where art meets nature. As I mentioned at the beginning, the Office of Community Engagement is an important team that help us connect residents with resources and programs countywide. Public forums like these, budget town hall meetings, help remind residents about the services our local government provides so we can meet the needs of our communities. For example, we have a mobile health unit that has helped communities everywhere, all over the county, by connecting almost 6,000 residents with vital care and services since the start of fiscal year 25. We've also offered resources to help renters and homeowners, including seniors and those impacted by disability, to stay safe and comfortable and independent. We know that Baltimore County residents like to give back when they can, which is why I am very proud of the efforts of our volunteers center located at the Bicota Senior Center, which has registered more than 2,500 volunteers since 2023 to support community events across the county. I want to thank you all again for taking the time to join us tonight. We're very proud of the investments we've made in District 6 and across Baltimore County. With that, I'd like to invite Kevin Reed, the county's Director of Budget and Finance, to walk us through the brief budget presentation. Kevin Reed, take it away. And if you can tap dance, you can tap dance across the stage as well.
Thank you, Madam County Executive. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you, D6, for coming out, taking an interest in our community and in the budget. And before we get started, I'm in this unique position as budget director. I get to see the funding come in and how we make decisions as an organization. But I'm also really proud to also be a resident of Baltimore County who gets to enjoy some of the services that we also provide. So when we talk about, in a nutshell, where the funding that you all and county taxpayers come from, it comes from user fees, taxes, and grants. And user fees are funding for services you use for a particular activity, such as getting an animal license or a building permit. Community college tuition is something that is unique to you, and the idea is that it partially offsets the cost of processing that or doing that activity. We pay taxes that fund the services that you and others use, and that is the public good. Those are our public school systems, those are our roads and public safety. And then we have grants finally, and for this example, we'll use our federal and state grants. Talking about our budget, we have an almost $5 billion operating budget. And you can see where the money comes from. This is the total funding, so about half of the funding comes from real and personal property taxes and the income taxes you pay. We have another large, almost a quarter, or a little over a quarter, is state aid, and that's a majority of aid that flows into our school system, and then smaller breakdowns as well. Where we are, we're really monitoring the 26 and the 8% other aid, the grants, if you will, that are coming in as we move forward in this FY27 budget, and that's something that we're laser focused on. When you look to see where the money goes, 55 cents of every dollar goes to the local public school system. You add on the community college funding, about a third of that funds community college, where a third of the funding comes from taxes, and then our libraries as well. You see the second largest slice of that pie is 15%, and that's pensions, debt service, and insurance. And why that part of the pie is growing, and we'll talk about that in a minute, because that is a pass on for the state teacher and community college pension costs that are now being passed on to the local governments that we have to absorb. When we look at our capital budget, it's a $3.2 billion 6-year capital outlay. When we look at our revenue on the left, we have about half is water and sewer fees that you all pay, and then you see that equal amount go out. That is the Metropolitan District Fund that you pay in your taxes and on your water bills. It's a self-supporting system and included in this presentation and in county budget documents for reference. Capital budget is about 39% funded by general obligation bonds, and that's when you go into the voting booth and vote for borrowing referendums, that we factor that into out-year spending. When you look at our capital budget, the second largest component outside of the Metropolitan District, about a quarter of our capital budget is dedicated to our local public schools. We are building 3 major high schools pretty much at the same time currently at this moment. That is an historic investment that we are making, and it's taking an enormous amount of bonding capacity to do. So when we're building out the budget, we have our Spending Affordability Committee, and this is a committee comprised by the county council and some lay folks that are appointed. And really the purpose of the committee is to ensure that the growth of county spending, the ongoing growth, doesn't outgrow the economy. And it's a really good thing from a management perspective. So when we look at FY26, the current year we're in, we'll see a spending growth rate we were granted just under 5%. $128 million. Sounds like a lot of money. But remember the total budget that we're dealing with, a $5 billion budget. That said, our operating budget could only grow by $128 million. So here is a breakdown of where that $128 million went. We have our school system with the 31%, our 25% a quarter retirement, Social Security, and debt service. I want to make this point that Baltimore County, like other local governments, like small businesses and medium-sized businesses, and anyone, it's the cost of doing business. We are not immune to what is going on in the economy. The cost of just operating the business as we continue is becoming more and more expensive. So I wanted to mention, I mentioned earlier the state teacher pension pass-ons. So this year in FY26, Baltimore County, in that $128 million, absorbed about $15 million in state cost shifts. And when we look at what's happening right now, we have our state leaders promising no new tax increases. So what they're doing right now is they're lifting and shifting. So they're going to move money around, and they're going to also pass on costs, additional costs to local governments. We already know it's coming, so this amount will grow. We had about $12 million in state teacher pension costs. We expect another at least $5 million this year. We have private pre-K expenses related to the blueprint. And we also, if you're right on the right here, $2.5 million. As you know, if you're lucky like me and you got reassessed this year, that we pay the Department of Assessments and Taxation. They're starting to ask for a payment, so when the counties get assessed by them, that they are recouping some of those costs. So when we look at our capital budget, this year in FY27, all the way on the right, is what we call an off year. And an off year means that the bond programming that you all approved in the voting booth was already adopted in the FY26 budget. And you can see how every other year we have that bonding put in. And that bonding is already accounted for. And if you're really bored at night and you comb through all of our budget documents, anything you'd ever want to know about Baltimore County is online, going back at least to 2011. So if you have the time and you want to go through it, you'd notice that every other year we have about $20 million in cash that we put into the capital budget. And that's called pay-go funding. And so if you look all the way on the right, we expect this year, we're hoping to do about $50 million in cash, depending on where our receipts come in. But again, that's really up in the air. But about 20 of that is already accounted for. So it's supported through a combination, again, of bonds and pay-go funding. Again, if we did everything everyone would want, we would have a $325 million in needs in our capital budget in FY27. And again, that's what we're planning for 50. It might be more and it might be less. So the question is, well, geez, Kevin, why wouldn't you just plan for the whole $325 million? It's because we would not have the revenues to support it. We don't have the cash and we don't have the bonding authority because we are maxed out as far as that's concerned. So when we put those questions in front of you on the ballots, those are already factored into our future debt amounts. And we're basically, you are all the bank, and we're asking you for our credit limit. And we have immense needs, again, just kind of breaking down some of the things. Immense road and infrastructure needs. We have an old cadre of buildings that need major maintenance and critical public safety infrastructure. So the foundations of building this budget, it will be balanced. We will submit a budget within the spending affordability guidelines. We're out here listening to all of you and hopefully reflecting the needs of the residents. Any decision that we make, we want it to be financially stable for the future. We don't want to promise things that we can't pay for in the future. And that brings me up to the second bullet right here, the rainy day fund minimum. We are looking at submitting a budget with a higher rainy day fund, up to 15% or higher. And the reason is that's really going to help us. We're hearing from Wall Street and our financial advisors that when we go issue debt, that really we're falling out of line with our AAA rated peers. So we were about one of 50 counties in the country out of 3,142 that are rated a AAA rating. And we have one of the lower fund balances than anyone else. And why that's important, because it saves tens of millions of dollars in debt service costs, basically our mortgage payment, to pay back these schools over a 20 and 30-year period. So we are really going to try to build the budget out with a 15% fund balance. It's a prudent move, and it's also prudent in this environment we see. We saw the longest federal shutdown in history. We've seen these state cost shifts. We've seen a lot of snow. So these are things that we are looking at to really have that additional fund balance for a $5 billion organization. Really does make sense. Our challenges are, we have federal uncertainty, we all know that. We have the state budget deficit, $1.5 billion. The state is in the hole. Again, looking at those cost shifts. The increases for employee and retiree health care is staggeringly expensive. We're talking double-digit increases going year over year, and that is something based on the usage and the benefits that we provide. And again, we want to maintain adequate reserves. From the capital budget standpoint, it's expensive to do anything these days, right? Labor, materials are more expensive. Keeping projects on budget and on schedule is difficult. And again, we saw no bond programming in FY27, so I really want people to take that away tonight. Every other year, you get the bonds program off year. So, So our timeline, we're in town hall meetings now. The county executive will submit her budget on April 16th. It is a Thursday. At that time, it will go to the county council, and the county council can only reduce the budget by charter and code. They cannot move the money around. It can only be reduced. But there will be hearings held in April and May for select county agencies. The county usually adopts, or the council usually adopts their budget by the end of May before Memorial Weekend for our fiscal year begin on July 1. So I really appreciate you all being here, and we'll hear from you all in a second. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Alonzo.
Thank you, Director Reed, County Executive Klausmeier. It is now time for you to present your budget priorities to the county executive. Each person will have 90 seconds to speak. If you are here with a group, only one member of the group should speak. Other members are welcome to stand and show support. If you have heard your priority presented, please defer to others who have not had an opportunity to speak. The town hall will end at 8 o'clock. If you do not have an opportunity to speak, you may email your statement to the county executive at townhall@baltimorecountymaryland.gov.
Good evening. Thank you, County Executive Klausmeier, Councilman Ertel, and County Council for the opportunity to speak this evening. I am Kelly Olds, and I am speaking as the president of TABCO. I want to acknowledge and appreciate that the superintendent's proposed budget for BCPS includes funding for the third year of our bilateral wage agreement. TABCO and BCPS agreed to a 3-year contract, and county leaders applauded that deal so we could spend time focusing efforts on initiatives that advance students, educators, and schools away from the bargaining table. And that is where we turn our attention now. The proposed budget cuts approximately 594 positions. 594 positions are cut in this budget. Many of these cuts are from classroom teachers, which means these cuts will necessarily lead to larger class sizes. As a voice for public education in this county, TABCO opposes these cuts. Educators change the future for our students. When there are less educators, when class sizes grow, our students suffer. We must work together to reduce these cuts. One year, I taught a senior social studies class with 33 students. They were a diverse group of students. I was lucky to have a co-teacher and an AA, but that put 36 people in the room. The sheer size made it impossible to meet the needs of the wide variety of learners in the room. We didn't have enough desks. Only with absences could everyone sit comfortably. The proposed budget would make this a more frequent occurrence in our system. This is not the way to improve our schools. Thank you.
Hi, hello, Madam County Executive and Councilman Ertel. I'm Rebecca. I am a volunteer court-appointed special advocate with CASA Baltimore County. We serve foster children within Baltimore County. I'm also a District 6 resident. We thank the county executive and councilman for their past support, and I'm here tonight to ask for continued funding for a program that is intended to help youth that are aging out of the foster system to transition that beyond through our youth engagement specialist program. It's the YES position. Foster care for children and youth who are removed from their homes due to abuse or neglect. Once removed, these children go through the Baltimore County court system. Although we are in state law as part of Baltimore County court system, we're required to do our own fundraising. And we're the only program authorized by the courts to advocate for children and youth in foster care. The council's continued support is vital to ensure that older youth in foster care and those who leave the system are able to transition in a safe and thriving way. I actually work with young children, but my counterparts in Baltimore County work with teenagers, youth 14 to 18, who are struggling to transition out of the system and into independence, and continued support would help to continue funding that program position so that they can continue to be helped in that transition.
Good evening, County Executive Klausmeier and Councilman Ertel and Mr. Reed. My name is Michael McCann, and I serve on the Board of Directors of Neighbor Space of Baltimore County. I know you both know that organization very well, but for everyone else's benefit, it's a non-profit land trust dedicated to enhancing the livability of neighborhoods inside the Ertel by protecting, restoring, and stewarding public green spaces. Neighbor Space was created in the Baltimore County Code to assure that smaller open space opportunities would be provided in our suburban communities. As I know you also know, Neighbor Space works closely with county agencies to assure local open space waiver fees paid by developers are spent on local community parks. To date, we have conserved 100 acres in 21 communities across urban Baltimore County and completed countless projects to build community capacity, improve environmental health, and install amenities such as benches and trails. As highlighted in the county's master plan, current park space is not equitably distributed, and Baltimore County is rapidly running out of undeveloped land inside the Ertel. So this is all very important to us, and I think it's important to the county as a whole. I would like to shout out to Mr. Lafferty on behalf of the Board of Directors of Neighbor Space for his work, and of course Rec and Parks, who we work with very closely to get the money that we believe we deserve. So thank you, County Executive, for continuing to fund Neighbor Space. Thank you.
My name is Evan, and I am a member of We Are Casa and a student of Featherbed Lane. We are pleased that the council has taken bold steps to make immigrants feel welcome in Baltimore County through the Trust Act and the codification of the Office of Immigrant Affairs. This is a remarkable first step. Now, for these measures to have a real impact, the county budget needs to allocate funds for immigrant to protection and services. The county must educate the immigrant community and all residents about our rights and how safely support each other and the face of immigrant enforcement actions. The county must develop rapid response systems so agencies and staff can respond to immigrant enforcement in ways that prioritize community safety and well-being. It is a crucial budget to allocate funding for legal and supplemental assistance for impacted families. When our families are impacted by detention and deportation, they often face economic hardship as they may lose the primary or sole source of income for family while also facing high additional expenses such as paying for a lawyer. Supporting affected families will help the social fabric of our beloved country intact. It will ensure that our children continue to access essential services like medical care and that remaining family members continue to contribute positively to the economic culture of Baltimore County. Thank you for considering these priorities in the fiscal year 2027 budget.
Woo! Good work.
Good evening, Council Executive and Councilmember Ertel. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. My name is Crisalis de los Santos, and we are CASA's Central Maryland Director. We all know that our country is going through a crisis, and our immigrant community is seeing it at its core. And this is a great moment for our county and local government to step up, not just in words, but also in action. And like Evan mentioned, we are extremely grateful for the recent actions. But I'm also here today to speak about the need of expanded healthcare access for immigrant communities and uninsured communities here in Baltimore County. That's one of our top priorities from our members here in the county, as well as also your support for the school system. We need more educators. We need more folks who are multilingual and culturally responsive to our community, not less. And, you know, as an ESOL student, I suffered from the struggle of being in a class with 40 other students when our teacher was trying to individually adapt to our English level. So I think that investing in youth is a great investment for the county because you guys are not going to be here forever, and we need to make sure that we have great leaders for tomorrow. My members would be extremely upset with me if I don't raise up the fact that we need to make sure that, you know, this Office of Immigrant Affairs fully funded and able to provide and coordinate wraparound services for the immigrant community and follow the footsteps that other surrounding counties have already done. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam County Executive and Councilman Ertel. My name is Jim Hudson. I am the 6th District Commissioner for the Baltimore County Commission on Veterans Affairs. As you know, our county has the 3rd largest veteran population in Maryland, with over 42,000 veterans plus their families calling Baltimore County home. Our commission mission is to advocate for those veterans and their families and connect them to resources through education and outreach. Since the commission restarted in 2023, we have assisted scores of veterans in this endeavor. Our 2026 commission priorities are to serve Baltimore County government's connection points for veterans and their families, offering support in areas such as healthcare, mental health, housing, and employment. Promote veterans' benefits, raise awareness of available services through outreach and education, and work alongside local organizations to address veterans' concerns. Finally, to recognize veterans through community events. These priorities will improve the lives of veterans and their families across the county. To accomplish our priorities and ensure future sustainability of the commission, we ask you to support our budget request as detailed in our recent submission, which includes a county position to support day-to-day Baltimore County veterans and their family requirements. Thank you for your support. We look forward to your contributing to our continued mission to serve Baltimore County. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you for your service and all the other veterans.
Hello, my name's Peter Forrest. I'm here to advocate for something fun, disc golf in Baltimore County. I came a couple years ago to these meetings, and through those meetings, we stood up the first full 18-hole course for disc golf. People might know it as Frisbee golf. We call it disc golf. That's okay. That is in County Home Park, right by the Alms House in Cockeysville. And in the year and a half that has been operational, it has exploded in recreation hours. We have a app that we use to keep score, and it has 2,000 unique players that have played in the last year and a half. 16,000 plus recreation hours, something like 60 million steps are taken. So it's a very good, cost-effective way to create a recreation around a green space that is low cost, environmentally friendly, very accessible to anybody because you just need to buy a couple Frisbees to go and play with your friends or meet up with whoever wants to play. And I think every district in Baltimore County should have a disc golf course or something for someone to do. Thank you.
I thought you were said disco, and I was ready. Yeah, there you go.
County exec wants more discos in Baltimore County.
Good evening, County Executive Klausmeier, Councilman Ertel. I want to thank you for being here tonight. It's nice to see democracy in action. My name is Twig George, and I am with the Natural History Society of Maryland. We have just finished a renovation of the outside of the building, much to the thanks of the county and the state. We now have an envelope in which to grow our museum. We have over 200,000 specimens. Right now, even though we have been closed for the last year, we ran 280 programs on plants and animals and sharks, and scientists came to speak. We recently, just last week, finished collecting over 4,000 fossils for the third grade science classes in Baltimore County. We are giving these to the county to use in their science classes. It goes along with a STEM activity for their third grade. It's being worked on by our curators and the teachers in the county. We are also providing a lot of material to schools and retirement homes. We do programs at places such as the School for the Blind. We are really, we want to be and are a resource for teachers, for students, for the county. We can help enhance your programs.
Good evening. My name is Larry Gribble. I'm representing the Baltimore County Volunteer Firefighters Association. I would like to take this time to thank all those that allowed the high school program to start again this year. Thanks to you and your support, 25 high school juniors or seniors are given the opportunity to complete emergency medical technician training. These students will graduate with the skills to be hired in a fire service or private ambulance service. We have included funds in our budget to pay an adjunct instructor to continue this class the next school year. With these funds and your continued support, we'll be able to attract 25 additional volunteers who will get EMT training and graduate with certification to get employed or become future career firefighters. This program allows students to get skills to succeed and make a difference in their futures. Please help us with continuing with this program. Thank you.
Sir, we appreciate everything you guys do. And that's a great program because we've had a trouble, not so much trouble, but it's been tougher to recruit new firefighters. And I know the chief's working hard on that, but that's a great program because it exposes high school kids to the fire service early on, and hopefully that's a pipeline for future firefighters in the county and EMTs and paramedics for that matter.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Last year, the Baltimore County Fire Department provided 290,771 responses. Each time we meet an average of 4 people, sometimes the whole community. When you include community events, it is likely you meet every county resident over the course of a year. We are the human faces that your constituents see in their homes on the worst day of their life with the sole goal to make things better. The elected representatives of Baltimore County need these meet and greets to be as positive as possible as it reflects your performance in government. Volunteer EMS companies provided 19% of these responses. As a result of July's rate increase, volunteer EMS achieved 50% daytime staffing in the station. However, we are still below the true cost of providing quality ambulance service. The current rate is less than half of the $120 an hour plus of a career unit. The lack of appropriate funding results in volunteer companies taking money from their savings to provide services or simply not being able to staff their unit. Over 10 years ago, the volunteer companies signed contracts authorizing Baltimore County to bill for transports. In return, Baltimore County agreed to cover all reasonable expenses. 18% of the $37 million in EMS revenue to Baltimore County is from volunteer transports. Only 73% of the volunteer revenue generated is being returned to the companies to cover their EMS expenses. It's time for you to do the right thing. It's not like the funding isn't there. The funding increase will restore fiscal solvency, increase the number of available staffed units, and will decrease the time it takes to get citizens our critical life-saving care. On April 8, 1929, the Cockeysville Volunteer Fire Department put the first ambulance in service in Baltimore County. With proper funding, we can continue for the next 100 years. Thank you.
Good evening, County Exec, members of the Council, the Board, administrators, teachers, parents, fellow students, neighbors, and friends. My name is Crystal Mercer, and I'm here from the Overly High School PTSA. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight about 2 urgent needs at Overly High School. We're looking for meaningful overcrowding relief and the installation of a sprung floor in next month's auditorium renovation. Overly is full of talented students and dedicated educators, but our growth has outpaced our building. Classrooms built for 20 to 25 students now hold 30 or more. We have 16 trailers in the rear yard with 4 additional scheduled for delivery next year. Students walk outside in 10 to 15 degree weather just to use the restroom. Although Overly was once approved for a replacement school, we were removed from the list due to lack of funding. We are state rated for 1,106 seats, and as of today, we have 1,608 for a total of 149% capacity, the highest overcapacity school for the entire county, with projections for that same capacity in and beyond through FY 2028. Meanwhile, 77 new townhomes are at Rouseville Crossing, and additional housing development in our district continue to increase enrollment. We've had lead in our water, resulting in bottled water being provided. Now, due to budget strains, athletes who are in the building for 12 hours or more are expected to supply their own water. Please help us secure funding for the upcoming school year to get our replacement school and a sprung floor.
Yes, I want to thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Jerry Withers. I've been a lifelong resident of Baltimore County, but I'm very disappointed in this administration because at all of these meetings, it starts with we're working under hard budget constraints. Yes, I agree to some of that, but I just want to make people aware in this auditorium that the county executive is getting a sizable raise this year. It's in the budget. The county administrative officer also, and all 7 council members their salary is doubling. I am also very disappointed that the county executive canceled the Sweetheart deal in Middle River. More likely, the Middle River Library. It was a Sweetheart deal being built by a builder and was going to be leased back. Where's the money for a much-needed Bowley's Quarters fire station? Those firemen put their lives on the line every day. Most of all, I am also very disappointed that the county executive, Klausmeier, did not renew Inspector General Kelly Madigan's contract last year. All she had to do was renew it. I'm not finished. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Just so everyone knows, I'm not getting a raise.
Good evening. My name is Rob DeFord, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Baltimore County Land Trust Coalition, which supports the work of 5 land preservation trusts in Baltimore County. Thanks to decades of collaboration between conservation advocates and county government, Baltimore County today is a nationally recognized leader in land preservation with over 72,000 acres of green space preserved. Land preservation receives support from voters with over 70% approval in every election cycle. The reason for this is that we recognize the many benefits of land preservation, which include open space for recreation, fresh local foods, clean air and drinking water, wildlife habitat, forest protection, a buffer against climate change, and general succession on family farms. Conserved land is not idle land. Family farms contribute over $500 million to our county's economy each year. To achieve our future preservation goals, I respectfully ask these 4 things. 1% of the annual capital budget to land preservation. I say this with all respect to the difficulties we're having with the budget right now. The bond authorization should continue in the cycles 28 and 30. Fund the County Rural Legacy Program at $500,000 annually and continue to support the Baltimore County Land Trust Coalition. Thank you very much.
Good evening, honorable elected officials, fellow neighbors. My name is Chris Pilkington. I'm a resident of Rogers Forge. I'm speaking for myself, a pedestrian and transit user. I'm incredibly privileged. I choose to walk and take transit because I believe it's the right thing to do. I advocate public transit, though, on behalf of those who are unable to speak or lately afraid to. They don't have my choice. All they have are their feet and the bus. I left Rogers Forge today at 5:45 p.m. and just walked in the door here at 7:20 p.m. thanks to a missed bus transfer. Sure, I could afford a $25 lift. What if I was on a fixed income? Minimum wage? 4 kids and? I think not. I encourage this body to make pedestrian and transit infrastructure a priority in the county that is representative of the county's commitment to those persons who rely on public transit, particularly those who are unable to make the bus adventure here tonight. Public transit and pedestrian infrastructure is no longer solely a transportation issue. This is a social justice issue. Good evening.
Thanks, Carmen. Good evening, and thank you all for being here tonight. Not just you on the panel, but all the department heads that are here. I'm Nancy Hafford. I work with the Towson Chamber of Commerce, and I work along with all the chambers in Baltimore County. One of the biggest struggles we have is housing for the workers that live in our area. The teachers, the fire department, the police department, we need them all to have affordable housing in our community. And the more people that live in our community, the more people that support our businesses. and that way we don't have to raise taxes. So I'm asking you all, and I know that you listen, and I know that you care, but look for opportunities that we can make it more affordable for our workforce to live and work here in Baltimore County and not have to move to other areas. Very grateful for all of you. Check it out.
Good evening, County Executive Klausmeier, Councilman Ertel, and Director Reed. My name is Sharon Keene. I'm the president of the Chesapeake Gateway Chamber of Commerce in Eastern Baltimore County. Over the past year, the Chamber has engaged partners in Hillendale, Overley, and Parkville to lead a reinvestment and revitalization effort through implementation of the Sustainable Community Action Plan. We sincerely thank the county for providing funding and resources to jumpstart this work. Our approach builds on best practices developed in Essex and adapts them to the needs of these communities. Our task force, comprised of leaders from business, education, nonprofits, faith-based organizations, government, and the community, some of whom are here this evening, has focused on prioritizing initiatives and implementing a $300,000 state facade improvement grant awarded by Baltimore County. Soon we're going to announce the grants to businesses all along Hartford and Bel Air roads, utilizing 75% of that funding. We're very grateful for the tremendous support provided by the Planning Department and DUDE, as well as Councilman Ertel's office, Senator Jackson's office, and others. As we enter the grant writing season, there are many opportunities to advance revitalization. To continue and expand this effort, the Chamber must pursue multiple grants and have the staffing capacity to implement awarded projects and manage reimbursable fundings. As I shared with Director Lafferty last week, we aim to host community building events, enhance marketing, and lead placemaking initiatives in these areas, art projects, etc. While I believe it's premature to discuss forming another CDC, our dedicated volunteers and I just don't have the bandwidth to take on much more. Any assistance in building staffing capacity would be greatly appreciated.
Good evening, everybody. My name is, okay. Let's try that again. Good evening, everybody. My name is Maureen Wamboi, first-generation immigrant, and I just want to point out today I came with my son because I need him to learn and see what we do in here. So my questions, I have two questions, one for the county level, one for the district level. So for the county level, as we work to make our county and district more welcoming and effective for everyone, how is this budget investing beyond staffing for the immigrant office in language access, family preparedness, and multilingual engagement so that small businesses, BCPS families, and underserved residents can truly access the services and opportunities available to them? For the district level, how is this budget ensuring safer roads and sidewalks near schools so our children can walk safely and our neighborhoods are properly maintained? More specific, Paddy Hill Road towards Parkville High School, kids are always walking on the grass, and right now it's snowing, I don't even know where they're walking on. And then on Bel Air Road, close to Overley bus stop, we have so many potholes. I drive that way every day, and I'm wondering, what is our county doing about this? Thank you.
Yeah. Ma'am, I can address, we talked about immigrant affairs, and Ms. Lauren Buckler will talk about roads, but we do have funding in our budget for language access, and we've been bolstering the funding over the years. We also have the Office of Immigrant Affairs that we do fund, supplies, materials, training, as well as staff, and that again is codified into county law as we move forward in FY27.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Deborah Gibson, and I am a resident of Parkville for the past 7 years now. It's been a wonderful experience, and I've enjoyed all of my neighbors here. It's a wonderful, wonderful community. I am here as a member, a representative of the Parkville Senior Center, which is a regional facility and a member of the Parkville Business and Professional Association. I'm reading. Participation in the center activities is open to all seniors on a space available basis. Membership is open to Baltimore County residents age 60 and over, and their spouses of any age. Now, I say that for a reason. I just turned 73 in December. I'm happy to say it. I'm happy that I'm still standing. I see so many young people here in this room, and I say young because I know you're younger than me. God bless you all. One day you will have need of such a facility in your community. One need, you will need a place to go to be able to still be part of your community and have activities to do and to have fellowship with other people like you. It would be a wonderful thing and a terrible thing if these facilities deteriorate and disappear, which is why we're here today. Parkville Senior Center has to be a historical landmark. It has to be over 100 years old, and it's deteriorating. I would like to, at this point, turn it over to my partner here, Karen, and she can give you just a little bit more insight because we're running out of time.
Okay.
All you.
They're shutting us down.
Okay, I just want to stress, we need help. We need renovation. We have things falling apart, such as the bathroom needs ventilation. And we need a new door, entrance door, for the disabled. Thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Can you hear me now? Yep. Okay. Thank you. Good evening, County Executive Klausmeier, Councilman Mike Ertel. Thank you for your service. I appreciate you. My name is Glenn Gilhar. I live in Councilmatic 6, so you're my councilman. I live in Legislative District 8. I'm actually a candidate for the House of Delegates, along with my brother, Yahoo Blackwell, who's running for State Senate, so I'm bringing a message from him also. For the nice person earlier who spoke about the disc golf or the frisbee golf, just to make you aware, if you're not aware, there's a disc frisbee golf at Pine Grove Middle School. So you want to make sure that that's maintained. I know that a lot of residents in the Parkville area enjoy the frisbee golf at Pine Grove Middle. Anyway, what brings me here today is, like I said, I'm a long-term resident of Parkville. They talked about the senior center, Parkville Senior Center. That's Parkville Elementary School. That's where I went to elementary school. My daughter. I'm a graduate of Parkville High School. My mom graduated from Parkville High School, class of 1957. My daughter, Brianna, over there, graduated in the class of 2020. Something real personal. Lost my father when I was 14, and I just remember how my mom felt when she dialed 911, where seconds count in a life. And I had the experience over the past year twice to call 911, and I was put on hold. Your call's important. Please hold for the next available representative. Seconds count. You need more people to answer 911 quicker. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Madam County Executive, Mr. Ertel, Mr. Reed. My name is Leon Thomas. I'm the racquetball coach at the Northeast Regional Recreation Center right here in this district. Our program is the largest youth racquetball program in the country. We serve over 80 kids right here in Baltimore County. Yes, go ahead, give it up for them. Give it up. And along with racquetball, we offer tutoring. Everything in our program is free. We offer tutoring in English, Spanish, science, and math. And yes, come on, support it. And I stand here now asking you to please to consider more money in the Parks and Recreation budget. It's important. Whenever something bad happens and we hear about it on the news, the first thing that folks say is these kids need something to do.
We have programs. We need money to make sure the facilities are well maintained. We need money so that Mr. Shepherd can continue to do great work to support programs like mine. Madam Executive, you are aware of our program because you had Mr. Williams bring letters over to our graduation ceremony last year. Mr. Ertel, you provided proclamations. Councilman Ertel, Councilman Padoka, Izzy gave us certificates as well. Please support Parks and Recreation. Thank you.
Thank you. That guy stole my thunder. Best for last. Stephen Giordani, I'm the president of Towson Recreation Council. We are one of the largest rec councils in Baltimore County with over 10,000 registrations, combining youth and adult programming, but a majority of it is the youth programs. Speaking of the Frisbee golf guy, we have plenty of space if you need it, so come on over to us. As you know, the 6th district is very limited in space and rec fields and open space. Towson Rec has constantly had to rent fields from private schools, colleges, whatever, and wherever we can get the space. And some of our neighboring rec councils as well do the same thing. Several years back, as you know, St. Pius School closed. There's been much discussion about what to do with that space. But the overwhelming majority of the residents in our TRC community support transitioning this space to rec fields and open space. My ask is two things. One, invest in more resources into rec and parks. And secondly, consider investing in a partnership with Towson Rec Council and our communities in this really, truly once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for space in the 6th district. Thank you.
I would just like to thank everyone for coming out this evening and thank all of our directors and for coming and being part of this event this evening. And if anyone has anything to ask, they're still here for a few minutes anyway. So, thank you.